got me some new friends. So let me reintroduce myself. I'm Tony Aragon with Planned Nirvana. In this channel, we help you find your confidence to increase your confidence so you can get the best out of life. You know, I've gained a lot of friends over the course of this last year as I've been doing YouTube videos and placing them on Facebook. So what I wanted to do is kind of do a retelling of a video I did, kind of freshen up, that I did back in the beginning. And it was kind of telling you a little bit about my story. I'll put a link into it. It's a terrible video, and it really shows how I've taken the method that I try to share with you and increase it to where I am today. You know, I grew up really poor. Matter of fact, I could show you many different places around Albuquerque that were, you know, they called them the war zone around here. I didn't really think too much of that. It was just my environment. It was what I was being brought up in. And it really wasn't until my first child was getting ready to be born that there were some things that began to stir in me. I was always comfortable with just being comfortable, like probably a lot of us. So anyways, I knew, being a high school dropout, that I was going to have to get some skills. So I immediately started learning a lot of things. I didn't know how to do anything, but I knew how to ride a bike, learned how to ride a bike by myself, so I figured, hey. And I began picking up, you know, painting and drywall and electrical work and refrigeration, and I just methodically learned. Matter of fact, I self-taught myself refrigeration and work on air conditioners, both in cars, residential air conditioners, and commercial. And it was just by doing. And as I built up kind of a method to how I learned any new skills. Matter of fact, I've shared that method with you in a previous video, and I'll link to it in the description box below, and also in a little card that comes up, kind of scrolls out somewhere, one side or the other. So anyways, so I kind of liked those, and I really started learning that not only could I learn relatively quickly, but I could also teach a number of different things. Took the idea of learning new skills when it came to trades. I knew that I didn't want to be a tradesman forever. A lot of people make good livings, but that's not the direction I wanted to go. So I went back to school, tried to go over and get a college degree, tried to learn these things, and I did it with the same tenacity of what I've learned every other thing. But then there came a real event in my life. About 6 years ago, probably one of my biggest failures to date. It's when I got divorced. My marriage failed, and pretty much it just all fell apart. And so went into some great depression, a deep, deep, deep sadness. But I knew I wanted things to be different. I knew that my past marriage wouldn't be saved. As a matter of fact, we were just too toxic. It's a lot of the reasons why I have an ideas about toxic people. Not only was I toxic to her, but she was toxic to me. And the outcome was, you know, eventually we got divorced. But it did teach me that if I wanted something different, then I needed to be different. And so then I went on a self-discovery. And I wanted to learn a lot of behavioral things and how I could be different, so that way I could live a different life. And if you go and you look at my Facebook page, you can kind of see this evolution to where I am today. So instead of thinking about everything that was wrong, I mean, it was pretty much evident. It was everywhere. Every part of my life, there was just symptoms of, you know, self-loathing, and you know, I couldn't save my marriage, and you know, and that really depressed me a lot. And I started to think about what is right with me. What are the things that I can do? I mean, you know, at one time I had somebody ask me, "Why are you so confident?" And I was, and it was built upon all of the new skills that I had learned, and that had gained me. You know, as I became more competent in something, I became more confident to be able to tackle new things. So in the midst of my sadness, in the midst of my depression, I applied the same thing that I've done in many other areas, that I was going to be better. I was going to get out of this. I knew I could. I knew where I wanted to be. I wanted to work on what was right in my life. I wanted to focus in on what was right with my life. And so I began to take my life, basically dissect it, and look at every place that I was successful in, and what was the processes that I did during that time that were successful. And there's a saying that success leaves clues. So I was looking for those clues. And so what I ended up discovering is a lot of the times that I was successful, the same pattern kind of showed itself again and again and again. So out of that is where I birthed out Planned Nirvana. If you want to be successful, you want to be in that nirvana state, that peaceful state, you have to be able to plan it. You have to have those steps to get from point A to point B. As I was looking at my past success and looking for those clues to that success, one thing also came out as well. And that was a very slow, methodical, ever moving forward way. And that's where the 1% came from. That we can make changes in our life slowly, but surely, one step at a time. Just like when we were learning how to walk, one step in front of the other one, eventually we then learn how to run. That's through competence in our ability to walk, which gave us the confidence to then learn the new skill of running. So if we can build those little rewards in our life to keep pushing us forward, then there isn't anything in our life that we can't overcome. So that's basically the nutshell of how Planned Nirvana got started. Where I got from to where I am today. I've got a nice little system to help you out. Tony Aragon, you have a good day.